Good morning. I'm going to come. Thank you, Luann. Thank you. Now it's time for our love offering. I see so much abundance here, and I see someone drawing a picture that I'm looking forward to seeing very soon. The baskets are in the back if you would like to provide a donation. If you are Zooming, you can give through our website, unityofjackson.com. And abundance is love. And abundance comes through our many gifts, not just our monetary gifts, but also our talents and our smile and our kindness. And so let us honor all our gifts by saying with me, divine love through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now Dave is going to share his musical gift with us. to take a moment to introduce our lead meditation person and speaker today. Her name is Luann Champion. She's sitting right next to me. She first visited Unity 40 years ago, which is a miracle because she is only 39 years old. I almost said you're almost 90 years old. Yes, she's only 39 years old, and it's a miracle. And by the way, that is what she will be talking about today, miracles. She loves studying truth principles and sharing what she has learned. She is a bright light that touches everyone. So please welcome Luann Champion.
Eyes. Relax within yourself and repeat along with me silently inside yourself. The power of my words and thoughts move me closer to the truth of my being. As we begin our meditation, allow your mind to relax and become still. Take a deep breath in. Exhale gently, consciously slowing your breathing with every breath. Release any tension, cares, and thoughts of concern. You are centered, relaxed, and at peace as you focus on this intention. The power of my words and thoughts move me closer to the truth of my being. As we enter the silence, may we realize there is power in my words and thoughts, energizing, renewing, creative power. I take charge of my thoughts and words, realizing the creative power they contain, coming to a greater awareness of God within. I am a divine expression of love, joy, and peace. As we return to ourselves, if we should ever miss the mark, just pause, reflect, and merely reset your focus. Moving forward without any criticism, shame, or blame. Just redirect your course, continuing your journey forward. Grateful for the wisdom gained. Nothing but nothing is stronger than the power of divine love within you. Use the power of your words, thoughts, intentions, and actions to release good into the world. Use this power to inspire and uplift others. By the power within, I am a living expression of truth, and I bring good to the world I see. Thank you. Just breathe deeply. Wiggle your toes and fingers and come back here. Well, it's not the beginning of spring, but it's mid-spring. And the title of my talk, it's just a miracle. In the spring, new life and wonder are everywhere. The season begins to shift gradually from the dark, cold winter days to warmer, sunnier spring. After many months of staying inside, we all can go outdoors comfortably. The yards go quickly from brown to green. Little buds appear on the trees that are soon fully leafed out. Dawn comes earlier and earlier, with birds singing in each day with their joyful song. I loved spring as a young girl, with my older sister Karen going outside often on the farm. We had a large yard that we could roam in with many flowers that, as I was young, just seemed to appear from nowhere. I was so awestruck when the first yellow daffodils and jonquils would show their beautiful blossoms. We had so many. We could bring in daily full bouquets to beautify our kitchen table and always bring a smile to our mom's face. One of my earlier memories of the miracles that occur in spring was with Anna Pong, our kind German neighbor who lived down the road with her husband Albert. It was always a treat when I stayed with her because I had little chores and always felt very useful. This day in the afternoon, she gave me a small pail. "You carry this and we go outside for greens today." Anna had a very heavy German accent and always smiled. We joined hands and went to the yard. She kneeled down and used the small spade she had. She dug up these green, pointy leaves that grew in small clumps everywhere. One by one, she dug them up and into the pail they went. "What are those, Anna?" "These are dandelion greens. We dig them up and cook for dinner. This is good in spring. It thins our blood and helps keep us healthy and strong." At that moment, I was shocked. You could eat them? I didn't question what she said, yet I was not sure that I believed her either. Into the house we returned, Anna at the sink and myself standing on a chair beside her, watching as she skillfully removed each leaf and put them in the bowl next to her. After washing them, she began other tasks for preparing supper. Soon Albert would be coming in from milking the cows. He would be hungry and ready for food. Potatoes cooked and were mashed, bacon was cooked extra crispy on the side, and a huge pan of wilted greens that she had added a touch of vinegar with lots and lots of butter. In from the barn came Albert. "I smell something wonderful. It smells so good." I loved their voices, their accents, and they loved me too. The table was set as we sat down to eat. I loved mashed potatoes for sure. Anna put a big glop of them on my plate. She pushed down the spoon, made a well in the center, and plopped a huge helping of greens for me on top of them. She wasn't kidding. we were going to eat them. I hesitantly took a bite and was amazed they were absolutely delicious. I was delighted. We were eating something from her yard. No one had to plant them or buy them from a store. Some people called these dandelions weeds. Anna called them dinner, but I called them a miracle. One day I was home with my older sister, and she said, "Come with me." Karen was nearly 11, I was nearly 4, and followed her dutifully as was expected because she was the oldest. Out in the yard we went. Before us was a clump of beautiful yellow dandelions. We picked a whole bouquet of them for Mom as a present. Their blossoms would be so beautiful in our yellow kitchen. As I noticed the flowers were the same color as the walls, I asked, "Did they pick dandelions out of somebody else's yard and paint our kitchen?" "Oh, silly goose. That's just paint they used. The color just looks like dandelions." She couldn't tell me otherwise. I closed my eyes and felt the wonder of buckets and buckets of blossoms stirred in a pail that became the sunny dandelion yellow paint on the walls of our kitchen. The next place she went was to a group of slender stems poking out of the ground. They all had round, perfect globes of fuzzy stuff on top that looked as soft as our kitty's fur. "Watch this," as she blew ever so gently. Each fluffy globe had even smaller parts that just danced in the wind. I was in pure awestruck amazement. Are they little fairies flying off to a new home? Oh, no, they're just seeds. As they land in different places, a new dandelion will grow and make even more flowers. Even though I could not speak my experience in words, and I didn't know what that word miracle even meant, I know I felt the presence of divine love that was part of the miracle of creation in those beautiful yellow flowers. Miracles can be defined as a surprising and welcome event that seems inexplicable by natural or scientific laws and is therefore considered to be a work of divine agency. In the spring of 1886, Charles Fillmore had such an experience that came to him in a dream. During extremely difficult times in his life with Myrtle, he had in his words, I quote, "a strange dream. An unseen voice said to Charles, 'Follow me.' Charles was led up and down the hilly streets of Kansas City, and my attention called to localities that I was familiar with. The presence stopped and said, 'You will remember having had a dream some years ago in which you were shown this city and told you had a work to do here. Now you are being reminded of that dream and also informed that the invisible power that has located you will continue to be with you and aid in the appointed work.' When I awoke," said Charles, "I remembered that I had had such a dream before and had forgotten it." Unquote. This was the beginning of the miracle of the Unity Thought movement. He did not know at that time this was to be his future. He wanted to leave Missouri with Myrtle and his family, hopefully finding better circumstances, yet because of this dream, he persisted with his studies, his meditation, and decided to stay in Kansas City. At about the same time, another important event happened. Dr. E.B. Weeks was delivering a series of talks by names such as New Thought, Christian Science, and Divine Science. Myrtle, being desperately ill and willing to try anything, went to hear Dr. Weeks speak. At that time, she'd been given only 6 months to live and had exhausted all other options. That night, she heard one statement that became the miraculous transformation in her life. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. This phrase went through her mind over and over again until it became her revelation that through God's will for her, only perfect life and wholeness was her birthright from God, which was inside her. She used affirmative prayer, meditation, and the power of the spoken word to change her life. As previously mentioned, our words are at the gateway between the unseen world of all possibility and the physical world where we manifest through our thought, word, and deed. In the powerful words of Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. In closing, I'm reminded of a story about a blind man on the street. He had no means of support, nor anywhere to go. He sat on a tattered blanket on the side of the sidewalk with a can and a sign. I am blind. Please help, it said. Day after day, he would sit and often receive just a few coins, barely enough for his meager existence. One day, a woman came by. She had a unique and pleasant fragrance. Her shoes had a certain click, click as she walked. Pausing to give him coins, she also took his sign, wrote something on the other side, and placed the new message beside the blind man for others to see, and left. From that moment, people would walk by, and what was before just a few coins, he would hear a handful of change go into the can. Sometimes he didn't hear anything but would reach out and feel that people had left him only bills. This man felt more and more blessed every day. One day, the familiar click, click sound came on the sidewalk along with the pleasant fragrance of the woman who had visited many days before. As she paused in front of him, he then asked, "What did you do to my sign?" She crouched before him gently, touched his shoulder, and said, "I wrote the same thing, but in different words. Instead of, 'I am blind, please help,' I wrote, 'It's such a beautiful day, but I can't see it.'" We live in a miraculous world full of wonder, with the possibility of blessings everywhere we go. As young children, we experience this in awe with an open heart. As we mature, often life's difficult experiences nudge us into seeing a better way. We may not begin a new thought movement that will end up changing the world, but I know we make a difference with the positive inspiration we provide to those we meet each day. Have a miraculous day, miraculous week, and a beautiful transformation of life with the powerful beauty that you are. Thank you.
I have a garden, and there are a lot of dandelion weeds in my garden, and so I'm pulling them out, resenting dandelions. And what I've noticed is that when they came into bloom, because there's not much maintenance in my apartment building, my whole lawn became yellow. And it was the most beautiful sight I've ever had. And I loved walking in it. And it reminded me of when I was a kid, and it reminded me of my kids who would pick dandelions, the yellow flowers, and give them to their mom. And so what I'm trying to say is, do I see these as weeds, a nuisance variety, or do I see them as beautiful flowers that brings out the kid in me. And when I can see him as a beautiful flower, that's the miracle. The miracle of changing my perception, the miracle of seeing something differently. So I'm grateful for this topic, so thank you.
I just had an insight that when we speak, the first sentence sets the stage for what follows. So when that blind man made the statement, "I am blind," everything that people looked at him as just a blind person, but the first statement is, "It's a beautiful day." That was a total change in what people read and what people thought, and that really affected those people who gave. And the other thing is, when we look out, we say, "Look at those beautiful herbs," instead of "Look at those danged weeds."
I think a miracle, if we take the time to pay attention, just our existence is a miracle. And what I mean is, as I'm driving, when I was younger, I took for granted and never really realized what all my body and mind is doing. But as I've gotten older, just to drive, my brain has to decide how far I am from a car, where my foot will automatically let go or step on the brake. I automatically know if I want to turn my hand. All these things are happening that I have taken for granted. And my body that the divine gave me is working whether I appreciate it or not. And I am just in awe that I am a walking miracle. When I meet someone, it's a miracle that I can sense them and get to know them emotionally. It's a miracle that I get to think and do and create things. I'm just one humongous ball of a miracle. Thank you, Luann, for making me see that clearly.
Really a miracle that we're always protected, we're always safe. And I think it's a good metaphor that we can just trust the divine a whole lot more because we're just taken care of.
Moved by what you said, Luann, because I remember a time when someone near and dear to me was kind of down and depressed, and I said to them, "Do you know what a miracle you are? How lucky you are you got here? Do you know what it took to get to this age? How many times you could have died and you survived? You have a job to do. You're here to do a certain thing. You have things to learn, you have things to teach. You're a wonder." And that's all I wanted to say.
When I come to Unity, I always like to bring my sketchbook because I get inspired by what I hear. And all of it is an affirmation of what my mother taught me when I was young. And she was Unity, heart and soul. So I just let myself kind of listen and see what direction and the drawing will go. And when you started talking about being like kind all the time to everyone, it really is like a little magic pill. It really is, just to recognize people, you know, say their name. One young woman at the grocery store had this beautiful Indian name. It was Rida. I said, "You say that, Rida?" "Yes," you know, I said, "It's so beautiful." And just those little things mean a lot. But anyway, I wanted to show everyone what you inspired. Where's the camera? Right here? Wow. I think you're going to have to put it up close for everyone to see. But I was trying to illustrate what you were saying about
Oh, wow.
I am. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's kind of saturated in her hair with I am, I am.
Oh,
Have it come out of your being.
how beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, oh, wow. We'll have to make a copy of it and enlarge it.
So anyway, while you were talking about dandelions, I got thinking about when my daughter was young, and she's blind. But this story has nothing to do with it, really. She was out in the yard or whatever, and she picked, a whole bunch of dandelions and brought them to me. And I wrote this poem, and you brought it to mind, and I was able to sketch it real fast write it out real fast on my sketch pad, because I wrote it real fast, and I'm going to read it. Jill picked a bunch of flowers that Mom just calls weeds. She gave them to her, just as happy as you please. Mom took the flowers and put them in a vase, and Jill skipped away with a smile upon her face. That is just beautiful. Isn't it sweet? Yeah.
Adorable.
So I just wanted to share what you inspired. I just wanted to share what you inspired today. So thanks.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Leslie.
Thank you, Luann. You did an amazing job. I'm still thinking about the dandelions and the people that owned my house before me, actually, even before the previous owner, were avid gardeners. And I have all kinds of edibles in my backyard that I really don't know how to harvest and use. There's bee balm and mint and lemon balm. And I like to grow fresh herbs. That's the little bit of gardening that I do with container gardening on my deck. But I know there's more out there that's edible. So I'm just inspired by the story. And I don't think I'm going to look at dandelions the same way again. I've never actually had dandelion greens. I had heard that they were edible, but it just didn't sound like they would taste good. It's opened my mind to the abundance that's literally in my backyard, and I don't even eat. So it's an expression of gratitude and opening my eyes to more possibilities.
The best time to get them is in the very earliest of spring, as the blossoms are coming up. So they would be a bit stronger now. You'd have to try them and see how they taste, but you can cook them similar to spinach. But of course, from the farm, that's why they put bacon chips on it, little broken pieces of bacon.
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. And that's the truth. And now Dave is going to play I don't want to say an ending song, a beginning song for the miracles that are going to come today. So thank you, Dave.